Ravi had waited for this day for months. The hospital room smelled faintly of disinfectant, and the bright lights reflected off the shiny floors. In his arms, he held his newborn child, small and delicate, wrapped in a soft blue blanket. Every movement of the baby, every tiny breath, filled Ravi with a joy he had never felt before. His wife, Lena, smiled weakly from the hospital bed, exhausted but radiant. This was the moment they had been dreaming of. Ravi carried the baby toward the exit of the maternity ward. The hospital corridors were quiet at this hour, except for the occasional nurse hurrying by with a clipboard or a tray of medicines. Ravi felt a peaceful calm. He had imagined taking his child home, introducing the little one to the world outside the hospital, and finally starting the life he had always wanted. Then a voice broke the quiet. "Stop. That's my baby." Ravi froze. He looked up and saw a woman standing near the hospital entrance. She was tall, with sharp eyes that seemed to glare at him. Her voice was loud, demanding attention. The hospital staff immediately noticed the commotion. Nurses and visitors turned to see what was happening. "Excuse me?" Ravi said, tightening his hold on the baby. "This is my child." "Who are you?" The woman, Karen, stepped closer. Her face was full of anger. "I saw you take my baby. You stole him, and I want the police here now. Arrest him." Ravi's heart skipped a beat. He could not understand what was happening. This woman was accusing him of something impossible. He looked at Lena, who was now sitting upright on the bed, her eyes wide with shock. She whispered, "Ravi, what is she saying?" She says I stole the baby," Ravi said, disbelief heavy in his voice. "But that is not true. This is our child." A nurse, hearing the shouting, came quickly. Her name tag read Mira. She looked between Ravi and Karen, confused. "What is happening here?" "Sir, ma'am, please calm down and explain." Kieran ignored her. "I know he took my baby. I saw him. He must be punished." Ravi felt a rush of fear and anger. He had done nothing wrong. The baby in his arms was his own son, the child of Lena and him. Yet Karen's loud accusations made it sound as if he were guilty. Other visitors in the hospital began to gather, watching the argument with curiosity. Some whispered to each other, looking unsure who to believe. A security guard approached. "What is going on here?" he asked firmly. "This man stole my baby." Karen shouted again. "I demand the police be called." Ravi felt his stomach tighten. He had always trusted the law, and he believed the truth would be clear. But seeing Karen's determination, he realized this would not be easy. The guards, nurses, and onlookers were watching, some with skeptical faces. Ravi needed to act carefully. "I am the father of this child," Ravi said calmly, trying to keep his voice steady. "This baby is mine. My wife is here. Please, check the records. We just came from the maternity ward." Karen laughed sharply. "Records can be faked. Anyone can claim they are the parent. I saw him take the baby from me. You cannot lie to me." The nurse Myra looked concerned. She approached Ravi quietly. "Sir, do you have any proof? Any documents or identification?" Ravi nodded. He handed her the hospital wristband that matched the baby's tag. "These are our hospital tags. The baby was born here, in this room. We have the birth certificate and everything else at the counter." Karen rolled her eyes. "That can be forged too. I saw him with my child." At this moment, the hospital manager arrived. He was an older man with gray hair, and his face showed experience and patience. "What is going on here?" he asked. Karen repeated her accusations loudly, pointing at Ravi. The manager listened carefully. He turned to Ravi. "Sir, do you have identification? Are you the registered father?" Yes, Ravi said, shaking slightly. "Everything is in the system. Please, I did not take anyone's child." "This is my son," Kieran interrupted again. "Lies, lies. Arrest him before he escapes." Ravi felt his heart pound. This woman's lies were spreading fast, and even some staff members seemed unsure. A police officer had arrived, called by the hospital security. He looked at both sides, holding a notebook and pen. "Calm down, everyone," the officer said firmly. "Sir, what is your name?" Ravi, he replied. This is my baby. His name is Arjun. My wife is Lena. We are registered here. We have all the documents. In your name, ma'am? The officer asked Karen. Karen, she said sharply. I am the mother of this child, and he stole him from me. Ravi's mind raced. How could someone make such a convincing lie? He knew he had to prove the truth quickly. He looked around and noticed the security camera in the corner of the lobby. He realized it might have recorded everything, from the moment they left the maternity ward to the entrance. Officer Ravi said, pointing toward the camera. Please, check the security footage. You will see we are the parents. This woman is lying. The officer looked at him, considering the suggestion. We will need to see that footage, he said. Until then, we will ask both parties to stay here and answer questions. Karen scoffed. You will see. He cannot escape the law. Ravi tried to stay calm, holding Arjun close. The baby stirred and let out a tiny cry. Ravi whispered softly, It's okay, little one. Papa is here. We will be safe. Mira, the nurse, quietly suggested to Ravi, Let's check the footage together before the police start any formal actions. It will show the truth immediately. Ravi nodded. He handed Arjun to Lena for a moment and walked with Myra toward the security office. The hallways were quiet, but the tension was heavy. The sounds of hospital life, distant footsteps. The faint beep of monitors felt distant compared to the fear and anxiety Ravi carried. In the security office. Ravi and Mira found the monitor. They requested the footage from the last hour. As they watched, relief began to replace fear. The camera showed Ravi leaving the maternity ward with the baby, walking calmly to the entrance. No one else touched the baby. Karen appeared later, sneaking around and approaching the lobby only after Ravi had arrived. The footage clearly showed her actions, trying to make it appear that Ravi had taken the baby from her. Ravi felt a surge of hope. He now had proof that would stop the false accusation. Mira said quietly, We need to show this to the police immediately. It will clear everything. Avi nodded. He held the monitor firmly and walked back toward the lobby, determined. Karen was still shouting, her voice sharp, trying to gain attention, but Ravi ignored her and approached the officer. Sir, please watch this footage, Ravi said. The officer leaned over and watched as the events unfolded. Karen's lies were clear on the screen. The officer's expressions changed from doubt to understanding. Indeed, one officer said. It seems the man is telling the truth. This woman appears to be making false accusations. Karen's face turned red. She tried to speak, but the officer held up a hand. You will have your chance, but the evidence is clear. The father is innocent. Ravi breathed a deep sigh of relief. He returned to Lena, holding Arjun close. The baby had quieted in his mother's arms, sensing the tension had eased. For the first time that day, Ravi felt hope again. He knew there would be challenges ahead, but he also knew that truth, patience, and courage could protect what was most important. He whispered to Arjun, We are safe now. Papa will not let anyone harm you. False accusation had shaken him, but Ravi realized he had the strength to face it. Humanity's ability to remain calm and rational, to use evidence and reason, had begun to shine. This was only the beginning of the battle to protect his family, but he would not back down. Ravi stood in the hospital lobby, clutching Arjun close to his chest. The baby was calm, yet his tiny fingers twitched, sensing the tension in the room. Lena held his hand tightly, her face pale, but determined. They had survived the first wave of Karen's accusations, but Ravi knew the danger was not over. Karen had influence over the people around her. The police were still unsure about every detail. The officers gathered around the security monitor, playing the footage. Each scene showed Ravi walking calmly with the baby from the maternity ward to the lobby. Karen's attempts to create confusion were clearly visible. One officer turned to Ravi and said, This footage is convincing. However, we need to ask a few questions to clarify everything before taking action. Ravi nodded. He knew that staying calm was crucial. Panic could make him seem guilty even when he was innocent. I understand, he said quietly. I will answer any questions you need. Karen was not satisfied. She raised her voice again, hoping to sway the crowd. You cannot trust this man. He can fake the footage. He is lying to all of you. The officer held up a hand, signaling her to stop. Ma'am, please wait. We are reviewing all evidence. We cannot act on accusations alone. Ravi noticed the whispers of the hospital visitors. Some were skeptical of Karen's claims, but others looked confused, unsure who to believe. He realized that public perception mattered. He needed to act fast to protect his family. He turned to Mira, the nurse who had helped him earlier. Can we get copies of the footage? He asked. I want to make sure nothing is altered or lost. Myra nodded. Yes, I can request it from the security department. It may take some time, but it will give you a copy to keep for your records. While waiting, Ravi thought about Karen. Why would she do this? He could not understand the motive. She had no connection to the baby, yet she was determined to destroy his life. He felt a mixture of fear and anger. Fear for his newborn and his wife, and anger at the audacity of someone to falsely accuse him. An officer approached him with a calm voice. Sir, we will need to ask you detailed questions about the baby's birth, your relationship with the mother, and your stay at the hospital. Please answer honestly and completely. Ravi nodded. I will. Everything is true. I want to prove my innocence. Lena, still holding Arjun, spoke softly. Ravi remembered to stay calm. Panicking will make things worse. We have proof, and we need to show it to the officers properly. Ravi took a deep breath. He knew she was right. His emotions were high, but they could not cloud his judgment. He followed the officer to a quieter room in the lobby, where they could speak without distractions. The officer began the questioning. Sir, what is your name and your wife's name? Ravi, he replied. My wife is Lena. And the baby? The officer asked. Arjun, Ravi said, smiling faintly. The baby stirred and cooed softly, as if sensing the tension in the room. Where was the baby born? At this hospital, in maternity ward 3. The delivery was this morning, Ravi said clearly. Do you have documentation to support this? Yes, Ravi said. He handed over the wristband from the baby, the hospital registration papers, and the preliminary birth certificate. The officer examined the documents carefully. Everything appears legitimate, he said. We will still need to check the hospital system to confirm registration. Ravi nodded. I understand. Meanwhile, Karen continued shouting outside the room, trying to attract attention. You cannot trust them. He is a thief. Arrest him now. The officers ignored her. One whispered to another, she is very determined to cause trouble. I hope she is not dangerous. Ravi realized that Karen might escalate her actions if she saw that her accusations were failing. He thought quickly. Officer, he said, I need to make sure my family is safe. Karen is not just lying. She might try to follow us, even outside the hospital. Is there a way to ensure our safety while this investigation continues? The officer nodded. We can arrange for security to accompany you while you remain in the hospital or until you leave. We will also ensure that the baby is never left alone with her. Relieved, Ravi felt a small weight lift off his shoulders. At least his family would be safe while the investigation continued. As the officers returned to check the hospital system, Ravi sat with Lena and Arjun. The baby yawned and snuggled into his mother's chest. Ravi whispered, We are almost through this, little one. Papa will not let anything happen to you, Mira returned with a kind smile. I have requested a copy of the security footage. It should be ready soon. Once we have it, the officers will have proof they can trust without question. Ravi nodded. Thank you, Mira. You have been a great help. Hours passed slowly. The tension in the hospital was thick, and Ravi felt exhausted. He could not leave Arjun alone, even for a moment, yet he also could not stay in fear. He decided to focus on what he could control, being calm, holding his family, and presenting the truth clearly. Finally, the security team returned with the copied footage. Ravi carried the USB drive to the officer, who immediately plugged it into a computer and reviewed the recordings. The footage showed every step. Ravi leaving the maternity ward with Arjun, walking through the hallways and reaching the lobby. Karen appeared later, trying to make her story seem believable. The evidence was undeniable. The officer looked up at Ravi. This clearly shows that you are innocent. The woman is attempting to create false accusations. Ravi felt relief wash over him. He held Arjun closer, feeling his tiny heartbeat against his own. "Thank you," he said softly. The officer called Karen into the room. "Ma'am, you have made false accusations against this man. We have evidence showing that he is innocent. You will need to explain yourself and may face consequences for this behavior." Karen's face turned pale. She tried to speak, but the officer raised a hand. "We will hear your statement, but first, you need to understand the seriousness of what you have done." Ravi watched, feeling a mix of triumph and exhaustion. His family was safe for now, and the truth had been revealed. The baby cooed, unaware of the drama surrounding him. And Ravi smiled, knowing that even in tense situations, courage and patience could protect the innocent. After Karen was escorted out, the officers stayed with Ravi and his family for a while, ensuring everything was settled. Myra offered warm tea, and Lena finally allowed herself to relax slightly. Ravi held Arjun, feeling the tiny fingers grasp his own. "We made it," he whispered. "No one can take you from me. Papa will always protect you." The hospital lobby slowly returned to normal. Visitors returned to their routines, and the hospital staff resumed their work. Yet Ravi knew the events of this day would stay in his memory forever. It was a lesson in courage, patience, and the importance of evidence. Humanity's ability to reason and act justly had kept his family safe. Ravi glanced at the security monitors one last time, ensuring everything was as it should be. He knew the battle was not over, but for now he had protected his newborn and his wife. That was enough. The baby cooed again, and Ravi smiled. For the first time since the accusation, he felt peace. The fight had been difficult, but he had faced it with strength. And he knew that no matter what challenges came next, he would always protect his family with calmness, courage, and clarity. Ravi returned to his room with Lena and Arjun, feeling the weight of the day pressing on his shoulders. The tension had not fully left him. Karen's false accusations had shaken the hospital. While the immediate danger had passed, he knew she might try to escalate her actions outside the hospital. Ravi's mind was racing, thinking about the next steps. Lena held Arjun carefully in her arms, and Ravi sat beside her, his thoughts focused. "We need to make sure there is no chance of her causing trouble again," he said quietly. "The footage was proof today, but we should have more evidence just in case." Mira, the nurse who had helped him earlier, had been listening attentively. "There are more cameras around the hospital," she said. "We can review the hallways, elevators, and entrances. Any footage that shows your movements will further prove your innocence." Ravi nodded. "Let's do it. We cannot leave anything to chance. I want to make sure the police see the full picture. This woman must not be able to harm anyone else with lies." Mira led Ravi and Lena to the security office again. The security officer welcomed them and explained the system. "We can review footage from every camera in the hospital. It will take time, but we can find all relevant recordings from the morning." Ravi watched the monitors carefully. Each hallway, each elevator, each entrance showed clear images of everyone moving through the hospital. He began to recognize the patterns. The footage confirmed exactly what he had experienced. He had left the maternity ward with Arjun, moved through the hallways without incident, and reached the lobby. Then Ravi noticed something unexpected. In one of the corner cameras near the hospital entrance, Karen was visible, hiding behind a pillar. She appeared to be waiting, watching the lobby. The video showed her moving stealthily, trying to create an impression that Ravi had taken the baby from her. It was clear now, she had planned this carefully. Ravi felt a surge of determination. "This is important," he said to Mira. "We need to give all this to the police. It will show her actions, and they will see she was trying to frame me." Mira nodded. "I can make copies of all the footage. You should have the original files as well. The police can use them to take the right action." Ravi carefully organized the footage, labeling each section maternity ward, hallways, lobby, and entrance. He wanted the evidence to be clear and undeniable. The more detailed and organized the proof, the stronger his case would be. While they worked, Lena spoke softly. Ravi, I am proud of how calm you have been. If anyone else were in this situation, they might have panicked. You have stayed strong for us. Ravi smiled faintly, though worry still lingered in his eyes. I had to. Arjun is too small to face danger. If we remain calm and think clearly, we can protect him and ourselves. After several hours, the footage was ready. Ravi carried the files to the police station attached to the hospital. Officer Mehra, who had been handling the case, greeted them. Ravi, I am glad you returned with the evidence. This will help us complete our investigation quickly. Ravi handed over the files. Officer, these show every movement from the maternity ward to the lobby and beyond. You will see that Karen was attempting to manipulate the situation. She wanted to frame me deliberately. Officer Mehra reviewed the footage carefully. As the images played, the expressions on the officers' faces changed. There was surprise, then clarity, and finally resolve. This is very clear, Mehra said. The man is innocent. The woman's actions are deliberate. She tried to create confusion and panic, but the footage proved she was planning it all along. Ravi felt a sense of relief. Thank you, officer. We just want to make sure this does not happen to anyone else. Mehra nodded. We will take appropriate action. Karen will be questioned, and her false accusations will be recorded. This should prevent her from harming anyone in the future. As they left the station, Ravi felt the sun shining down warmly. The world outside seemed calm, almost peaceful, yet he knew the danger was still close. Karen had been bold and determined. He had to stay vigilant. Back at the hospital, Ravi spoke with Mehra once more. Thank you for your help today. Without your support, this might have been much more difficult. Mehra smiled. I am glad I could help. It is important to stand by the truth and protect the innocent. You have done that well. Ravi returned to Lena and Arjun. He held his son gently, feeling the tiny heartbeat against his own. We are safe now, he whispered. But we must always stay careful. That evening, Ravi reflected on the events. Karen had tried to use lies and fear to manipulate everyone around her. Yet reason, calm thinking, and evidence had exposed the truth. Humanity's ability to use logic and courage to defend the innocent had kept his family safe. Lena placed Arjun in his crib and looked at Ravi. We should be grateful for the people who helped us, she said. Mehra, the officers, even the hospital staff, they all believed in truth. Ravi nodded. Yes, today was a reminder that truth and patience are powerful. Lies can create fear, but evidence and courage can restore justice. As night fell, the hospital quieted. Ravi stayed by Arjun's side, watching over him. He knew there would be challenges ahead, but he also knew that with careful planning and determination, he could face anything. In his heart, Ravi made a promise. No one would ever harm his family with lies or deceit. He would protect them, not with anger, but with intelligence, patience, and courage. Humanity's greatest strength was not just physical power, but the ability to remain rational, compassionate, and brave in difficult situations. For the first time in hours, Ravi allowed himself to relax slightly. The immediate danger had passed, and the truth was clear. But he also knew that vigilance was necessary. Karen had been bold, and if given another chance, she might try again. He decided to take precautions. The hospital security team agreed to monitor any suspicious activity. Ravi made sure the officers had copies of all evidence. Lena and he planned how to protect Arjun in the coming days. Through it all, Ravi never let fear control him. He remained calm, thinking carefully about each step. Humanity had faced challenges before, and humanity had the strength to overcome them. Ravi knew he was not just protecting his family, he was demonstrating the power of truth, courage, and reason, as he sat quietly watching Arjun sleep. Ravi realized something important. Fear could never overpower truth. Lies could never stand against evidence. And the bond between family, strengthened by patience and courage, was stronger than any false accusation. With that thought, Ravi closed his eyes briefly, feeling hope for the first time since the morning. The battle with Karen was not completely over, but he had won the first part, and now He was ready for whatever came next, prepared to protect his newborn and family with intelligence and bravery. Ravi whispered softly to his son, "Sleep well, little one. Papa will always protect you. The truth will always guide us." The night continued quietly, but Ravi's mind remained alert. He knew that in a world where lies could appear real, humanity's ability to reason, to remain calm, and to protect the innocent was what truly mattered. The next morning, the hospital felt calmer. The security cameras had captured all the necessary evidence, and Ravi knew the police had begun their investigation into Karen's actions. Yet Ravi could not let his guard down. He understood that facing someone determined to harm his family required patience, courage, and careful planning. Lena held Arjun in her arms as Ravi spoke quietly. "We need to stay alert today. Karen might try something now that she realizes the evidence is against her. We must be ready." Lena nodded. "I agree. But we also have to remain calm. Arjun senses our emotions. If we panic, he will feel it too." Ravi smiled faintly. "Yes, calm and reason will guide us." Soon, Officer Mehra arrived at the hospital with 2 other officers. "Ravi, we have reviewed all the footage. Karen's actions are clear. We will confront her officially today. I want you to be present so she cannot manipulate the situation with lies again." Ravi nodded. He felt a mixture of anxiety and determination. Today would decide whether his family could finally feel completely safe. The officers contacted Irene and requested her presence at the police station. She arrived angrily, her face showing defiance. She refused to believe that the evidence was against her. Her sharp words filled the small room as she tried to accuse Ravi again. But the officers remained calm. "Ma'am," Officer Mehra said firmly, "we have evidence showing your actions. We have footage from multiple cameras that proves Ravi's innocence and shows that you attempted to frame him. You will have the opportunity to explain yourself, but we have already seen the truth." Karen scoffed. "This is fake. You cannot prove anything. He is lying." Ravi took a deep breath. He had practiced how he would speak, how he would remain calm. "Officer, the footage clearly shows the events," he said steadily. "I have done nothing wrong. This baby is mine. My wife is here to confirm it, and the hospital records match everything. The truth is clear." Lena spoke next, her voice calm but firm. "I was there when Arjun was born. We left the maternity ward together. I can confirm everything Ravi says. Karen is not related to our child in any way." The officers watched carefully as the evidence was presented. The multiple angles, timestamps, and hospital records left no room for doubt. Karen tried to interrupt, but each attempt only reinforced the clarity of the proof. Ravi continued, "We are not here to punish her personally. We just want the truth to be respected and our family to be safe. False accusations can destroy lives, and that is why evidence matters." Karen's face twisted with frustration. Her attempts to manipulate the officers and the witnesses were failing. She realized that the truth, backed by clear proof, was stronger than her lies. Officer Mehra spoke again. "Karen, your actions are deliberate. You attempted to create confusion and harm an innocent family. The evidence is undeniable. You may face consequences for your false accusations and attempts to manipulate witnesses." Karen tried to speak, but the officers did not allow her to interrupt. She could feel the control slipping from her hands. Every lie she had prepared was exposed. Ravi felt a surge of relief, but remained composed. He knew that anger could make the situation worse. By staying calm, he had allowed the officers to see the truth clearly. Humanity's ability to reason and follow evidence had protected him and his family. After a long discussion, officers made it clear that Karen would be held accountable. She would face legal consequences for false accusations, and the record would show the truth. Ravi watched as Karen realized that her attempts to harm him had failed completely. With Karen removed from the situation, Ravi finally allowed himself to breathe. He returned to the hospital room with Lena and Arjun. The baby slept peacefully, unaware of the danger that had surrounded him. Ravi felt a deep sense of gratitude for those who had believed the truth. Mehra, the hospital staff, and the police officers. Lena spoke softly, holding Arjun close. We did it. The truth won. We protected our family without giving in to fear. Ravi smiled, a rare sense of peace washing over him. Yes, calmness, reason, and courage helped us. Lies can create chaos, but evidence and truth restore order. Mira entered the room, smiling warmly. You handled this very well, Ravi. Many people would have panicked. You stayed calm, collected, and logical. That is why the truth prevailed. Ravi thanked her. I could not have done it without your help. You guided me when I needed it most. For the rest of the day, Ravi focused on Arjun and Lena. He fed his newborn, changed his diaper, and watched the small movements that filled him with joy. The shadows of the morning's events were fading, replaced by the light of a safe and happy family moment. Yet Ravi knew the lessons of the day would stay with him. False accusations could appear anywhere, and malicious people could try to manipulate others with lies. But he had learned that calm thinking, courage, and the careful use of evidence were stronger than fear and deceit. Humanity's strength lay in the ability to reason, to act with compassion, to protect the innocent. As evening came, Ravi sat beside the window, holding Arjun and looking outside. The city lights twinkled, and the world seemed peaceful. He whispered softly, We faced danger, little one, but we stayed strong. Papa will always protect you. Truth will always guide us. Lena joined him, holding Arjun gently. We have learned a lot today. Courage and patience can overcome lies, and people who do the right thing will help those in need. Ravi nodded. Yes, humanity is strongest when we remain calm, act with logic, and support each other. Today that strength saved us. They watched the stars emerge in the sky, and for the first time since the morning, Ravi felt completely at peace. The confrontation was over. Karen had been exposed, and their family was safe. Arjun slept soundly, and Ravi knew that the bond of love and protection around him would never be broken. The day had been difficult, but it had also been a lesson in resilience. Ravi realized that even in the face of lies, calmness, courage, and truth could prevail. Humanity's greatest power was not in anger or force, but in the ability to reason, act with care, and protect the innocent. As night fell, Ravi held Arjun close. He thought about the future, about how he would protect his child from any harm, and about how he could help others in similar situations. The experience had taught him that false accusations could appear anywhere, but the strength of humanity's truth, logic, and courage would always shine through. Ravi whispered again, Sleep well, little one. Papa will always keep you safe. Today we faced lies, but tomorrow we will face life with strength and wisdom. The hospital was quiet now, and Ravi, Lena, and Arjun were finally able to rest. The confrontation with Karen had ended, and justice had been served. Yet, the lessons of the day would stay with them forever. That calmness, courage, and truth were powerful enough to overcome even the most determined lies. Ravi closed his eyes, holding Arjun close. The day had been long and difficult, but humanity's strength had protected his family, and in that quiet moment, he felt hope for the future, knowing that truth and courage would always guide them, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The morning sun filled the hospital room with a warm glow. Ravi sat by the crib, watching Arjun sleep peacefully. The events of the past days still lingered in his mind, but a sense of calm had replaced the tension. Karen's false accusations had been exposed, and justice had begun to take its course. The officers had assured him that she would face the consequences for her actions, and the hospital staff had confirmed all the records matched Ravi's account. For the first time, he felt that his family was truly safe. Lena sat beside him, brushing Arjun's soft hair gently. Ravi, I think we can finally breathe. The worst is over, she said softly. Ravi nodded, feeling a deep sense of relief. Yes, but we must remain careful. Karen tried to manipulate everyone, and people like that do not stop easily. Today, though, the truth is on our side. The officers arrived again later that morning. Ravi, Lena, we have completed the formal investigation, Officer Mehra said. Karen has been officially charged with false accusations and harassment. The hospital records, combined with the security footage, make it impossible for her to deny her actions. You are fully cleared, Ravi exhaled slowly. Thank you, officer. Thank you for believing in the truth and helping protect our family. Officer Mara nodded. It is our duty to ensure justice. Your calmness and cooperation helped us handle this case efficiently. Your courage made a difference. As the officers left, Ravi turned to Lena. It is over now. Arjun is safe. We can finally go home and start our life as a family. Lena smiled, holding Arjun close. Yes, it is finally over. And we learned a lot. Courage, patience, and truth can overcome lies. Even when it seems impossible, evidence and clear thinking will always prevail. Ravi nodded. He looked at Arjun and whispered, You are small, little one, but today you saw courage. Papa will always protect you, and we will face life together. The rest of the day was spent quietly. Mira came to check on them and brought refreshments. You both handled this situation very well, she said. Many people would have panicked or lost control, but you stayed calm and logical. That made all the difference. Ravi smiled. Thank you, Mira. Your help was invaluable. Without your guidance, it could have been much worse. Mira nodded. It is always important to support each other and act with reason. Humanity's strength lies in courage, truth, and teamwork. As the day passed, Ravi and Lena prepared to leave the hospital. Security accompanied them to ensure there were no further disruptions. They packed their things and carefully carried Arjun, making sure every step was safe and calm. Walking out of the hospital, Ravi felt the fresh air fill his lungs. He looked around at the city, the people going about their daily lives, and he felt a renewed sense of hope. The world could be full of challenges, but human courage and reason could overcome almost anything. Once they reached their car, Ravi paused to check Arjun, who was sleeping soundly. We are going home now, he said softly. No one can harm us when we stay vigilant and follow the truth. The drive home was quiet, filled with a sense of peace and relief. Ravi and Lena exchanged glances, both smiling faintly. They knew that life could still present difficulties. But the events with Karen had shown them that courage, calmness, and evidence could protect them. When they reached their home, Ravi carefully carried Arjun inside. The house, which had been quiet and empty during their hospital stay, now felt alive again. The warmth of home, combined with the safety of knowing the truth, had prevailed, filled their hearts. Lena placed Arjun in his crib and looked at Ravi. This is our safe place now. No one can take away what is ours when we protect it with courage and reason. Ravi nodded. Yes. Today, we learned that lies can appear powerful, but truth, calmness, and courage are stronger. Humanity has the ability to overcome fear and deceit. Over the next few days, life slowly returned to normal. The neighborhood had heard about the situation, and many people admired Ravi for remaining composed and brave in such a tense situation. They respected how he had handled false accusations without panic or anger. Ravi spent time with Arjun, watching him grow and develop. Every smile, every tiny movement reminded him of what he had fought to protect. He knew that the bond between parent and child, strengthened by patience and courage, was unbreakable. Lena and Ravi also talked about the lessons they had learned. We must always act with patience and evidence, Lena said. The truth is our greatest weapon, Ravi agreed. And courage. Without courage, even the truth might not be enough to protect the innocent. Today we saw that humanity's strength is in reason, bravery, and compassion. One afternoon, Mira visited them at home, bringing a small gift for Arjun. I wanted to see how you all are doing, she said. You handled everything so well. The truth and calmness protected you, and I am proud to have helped. Ravi smiled warmly. Thank you, Mira. Your support was crucial. You reminded us that people who believe in justice make the world safer, Lena added. Yes, this experience has shown us the importance of truth, patience, and human courage. We will remember it always. Ravi looked at his newborn son, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Arjun had been the reason for his courage, and now he could finally rest knowing his family was safe. humanity's ability to remain rational, compassionate, and brave had saved his child and restored justice. The days turned into weeks, and life became calm again. Ravi and Lena established routines for Arjun, enjoying each small milestone. The fear that had clouded their hearts was replaced by confidence and gratitude. One evening, Ravi held Arjun in his arms while Lena prepared dinner. He whispered softly, "You are safe now, little one. Papa will always protect you." Today, we faced lies and fear, but we stayed strong. Tomorrow, we will face life with courage and wisdom, Lena joined him. Wrapping her arms around both Ravi and Arjun, the world may have challenges. But as long as we act with reason and courage, we can overcome anything. Ravi nodded. Yes, humanity's greatest strength is in truth, compassion, and bravery. We have seen it today, and we will carry it forward. Weeks later, news spread that Karen had faced legal consequences for her false accusations. The community saw that lies could not defeat truth when people acted with courage and patience. Ravi and Lena's story became an example of how humanity could protect the innocent and uphold justice even in the face of fear and deception. Ravi continued to watch Arjun grow, teaching him the values of courage, honesty, and patience. He knew that life would present challenges, but the lessons from this experience would guide them forever. One quiet evening, as Ravi and Lena watched the stars from their balcony, Ravi whispered, "We have learned a lot. Fear and lies can appear powerful, but truth, courage, and human wisdom are stronger. We will always protect each other and face life with strength." Lena smiled. Yes, and we have shown that even in difficult times, humanity can overcome deceit and fear. Together, we are stronger than any challenge. Ravi held Arjun close, feeling the warmth of his family and the safety they had fought to secure. The past events had been difficult, but they had revealed something important. Human courage, patience, and truth were the most powerful forces in the world. As the night deepened, Ravi reflected on the journey. The false accusation, the confrontation, the evidence, and the eventual justice had all been tests of human strength, and humanity had passed, with truth, reason, and courage. Even the smallest and most vulnerable could be protected. Ravi looked at Arjun and whispered once more, "Sleep peacefully, my son. The world is safer because we stood for truth. Papa will always protect you. Our family will always be strong." With that, Ravi, Lena, and Arjun rested peacefully. The danger was gone, justice had been served, and the power of truth and human courage had been proven. Humanity's ability to face lies, protect the innocent, and act with wisdom had saved an innocent life and restored hope for the future.